This is Jonathan's World. We're starting the UVM Cynical Cynic edition for the week of January 27th, 2009. And that's way too many T's for one sentence. SGA gets down with Party Smart. It's basically about a website, but I want to focus on the first two paragraphs. The first paragraph reads, after a fire alarm, 4 detoxifications, numerous party busts, and 1 arrest at Will's dorm, residential advisors and UVM police finally get residents of Will's dorm back to sleep. This is crazy. This all happened in one night. The fire alarm, 4 detoxifications, numerous party busts, and 1 arrest. How did all this start? The night began with a fire alarm, which an overflowed pot of ramen noodles on the first floor stove set off. They're breaking violations with ramen noodles. Every other dorm seems to be getting left behind. I remember when Harris Miller's was a really bad dorm. Now it's Will's. I think they still refer to Will's as the shoeboxes, and I don't even remember it being that bad. Living and learning is getting way left behind. We need to start setting off violations with shoelaces or something. We're not even going to be competing with Will's if we keep getting left behind at this pace. Davignon, I think that's what his name is, I'm not even sure. He said, it was crazy and the kids were out of control. The kids? We're referred to as kids now? I mean, I've heard us referred to as young people, young adults, but kids, this is kind of ridiculous. I haven't been referred to as a kid for like the past 4 years. For this person to say the kids were out of control, he's like a school teacher who doesn't really know how to take care of his classroom well. The next column I want to talk about is Thank You, President Bush. It's a pretty interesting column. It's written by Rick Valenta and Ryan Walker. They wrote the Against column that I was talking about last week, and if you haven't seen that video, you can click here. First thing I want to talk about is them actually admitting that President Bush has a mental disability. This hasn't been admitted for a while. It's been kept out of the public's eyes. Breaking news, and I'm glad that the Cynic broke it. It says here, the president was dealt a bad hand with faulty and conflicting intelligence. Not only is his intelligence faulty, but it's also conflicting. So I guess that means he has multiple personality disorder. But there's medications, so there's hope for President Bush. He could be like Clinton one day in that he could have a normal life. They also said he signed into law the No Child Left Behind Act, which had varied success. By varied success, they mean they're making the nation dumber? Then I agree. I guess this was made to make President Bush feel smarter because, as we already know, he's mentally retarded and has multiple personality disorder. I'm glad that these two people, Rick Valenta and Ryan Walker, are helping out with the disabled people. I'm going to jump to the front page of the Cynic now. There's actually a caption under this photo that says, members of the student group, staff, and faculty together marched from the Royal Tyler Theater to Waterman in a funeral march mourning the death of UVM education. Now this is weird that they use the words death of UVM education. It sounds like a bad documentary that's not even in the theaters. It just goes straight to DVD. Actually, you can purchase it now. It's available at your local video retail outlets. But the death of UVM education is a bit extreme. I'd say that UVM is disabled right now, and it's limping on the hope that your neighbor is going to get his scholarship, which has just been cut in half. In the front page of the Cynic, it says UVM is dying. However, on page 3, in the protests section, it says UVM is suffering from that perversion. He's dying, UVM is suffering. I don't know whether to get him a card that says hope you get well soon or money for the funeral. It's really confusing. Suffering from that perversion. I've been looking for the perversion online and I haven't found it. I was like searching for the UVM website. I looked for perversion. The Cynic website came out. There wasn't a link to the actual perversion. They just mentioned it. I was like really interested in seeing it. Looking for some good perversion lately. Haven't been able to find it. That's all I have to say right now for the UVM Cynical Cynic. This is Jonathan Mejia and I'm logging out.